Shane Fero is a dedicated artist. His career spans 30 plus years, and you can follow his interests. You can follow what he cares about. And it's about mythology and nature. Shane Fero is a pioneer in the flame working process. He's a leader in the studio glass movement. Shane's spirit of giving is evident in his involvement with the Glass Arts Society. As president of the Glass Arts Society, he's been very generous with his time. But Shane's career goes beyond glass by virtue of his leadership and his involvement with the Penland School of Craft. Shane and his wife Sally are very committed to the Penland School of Craft, and as a consequence, they're very, very supportive of artists, craftspeople. He's also an educator. So between Shane's studio art making and his education, he touches a lot of lives. Shane has developed a series of birds that I think are among his finest work. They're wonderfully poetic. I think Shane's birds are poetic and uplifting. They're extremely complex. But if you analyze what he's done, it's fascinating for me to understand how he's layered colors and added complexity to his tubing. He blows tubing and decorates it with enamels and powders, and when he's through, he's got a magical bird.
I gotta say, Shane Fero is one of the coolest guys I know. I got to know him on kind of a glassblowers convoy over to Lauscha after the Glass Art Society conference in Amsterdam, 2002. And that changed my life forever, and we've been good friends ever since. Shane's one of the few artists who uses crossfires. They use gas and air, no oxygen, and they're primarily used for neon work. They were used an awful lot up until about the 1960s. They're pretty slow, though, and you can't do boro with them. Since he obviously doesn't need the whole tube, he's going to separate the tube into two pieces and get a more manageable length. He does this by pulling a point. He heats the glass, takes it out of the flame, lets it cool for a moment, and then pulls. Now he flame cuts to separate it from the larger piece. Now that he's got a more manageable piece to work with, he's going to discard the first point and pull a really sturdy new point. You can see that he heats a wider section of tubing, and he doesn't pull it very far. It needs to be nice and strong so it doesn't snap while he's working. Hey, who said you could have fun? This is serious teaching going on here. It's time to flame cut and burn off the first point. Then throw it out. When you flame cut, you close off the end of the tubing, and if you want to ever be able to blow into it, you better open it up, which is what Shane does now. Since Shane still has more tubing than he needs to make his finch, he's going to pull out a second point and get just the right length of tubing to work with. If you're ever having trouble pulling points from soft glass tubing, one of the things you probably need to do is to heat a wider section of tubing before you pull. And remember to wait a moment before you pull. And also, you want to remember to rotate the glass all the time, because if you stop rotating the glass, then you're going to end up pulling out flat points, and those won't work at all.
Okay, I pulled the point now. After I straighten the point, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to cover this with probably 3 layers of different colors, powders. So I'm going to be rolling it into powders. And then I'm going to take a rod and stripe it right down the sides. Okay?
Yeah.
And then heat that in.
Now Shane switches over to a Carlisle CC. He is the only artist I know of that uses a crossfire and a Carlisle CC in tandem like this. He's got to keep that tubing hot. Every so often he puffs gently to begin to expand the glass. As long as the tubing's hot enough, the powder will stick, and then he reheats it and melts it in every single time. It's really important to do numerous coats in order to get that color to be good and solid.
Techniques are totally adapted from Bohemian and Laotian techniques, just contemporized. So really I'm following a tradition. But this is the tradition that I'm following. And, this is the thing that I was taught. I was taught to make some blown animals, blown birds and things.